And we're heading into game number 6 on Wasteland Circle. And in the bottom, spawning as the green GDI, we'll be playing as... Well, I'm really bad at these intros, aren't I? I shouldn't even bother to do them. It's going to be Eclipse as the green GDI and Futurama as the cyan black hand versus Rex as the pink scrin and Space as the yellow GDI. After hours of casting, I sort of lose my focus, but I'll try and stay with you guys. I'm not Cyber, who can supposedly do this for like 5 hours non-stop. Even Spartacus, he just had a natural talent. These guys just have natural talent for these things. I am just noob in comparison. However, I did put my mouse sensitivity so low that I can barely move the camera, but it stops me from scrolling too much, which I think makes it more viewable. I know it's slow, but you guys would probably prefer it to be like this. Anyway, it looks like Futurama has decided to go for the Tiberium spikes. And in the top right corner, Rex taking both of his. So the strongest players of either team have taken the tib spikes. Now a quick tour of this map as we see a little bit of lagging. Hopefully that does not persist and we have to restart the game once again. That would suck for sure. But yeah, both players share the starting Tiberium field. There is some Tiberium chasms and crystals on this red zone map. Make sure you've got the 4K mod installed or you will not see the Tiberium as good looking as this. So yeah, just throwing in that advertisement there. And in the corner there's a Tiberium field that one player will expand to, while the other goes for the field up here. Same applies to the top team. Looks like Space will be opting for this tib field. I think it starts and is smaller than the other field, so one player gets more tib than the other, I believe. Or it could be the case that the Tiberium here is overlapping. If it is, then it's an advantage to pick this spot, because then harvesters won't have to travel as far to unload and load Tiberium. But I guess it's okay if one player gets an advantage, as long as it's on both sides of the map and not one side. I suppose that's acceptable. Some Pipples here from Space. Just going to do a bit of recon. He's going to head down to the south and see what he can do. There are some rockets awaiting him. Those are Black Hand militant rocket squads, so they're going to be upgraded with the Purifying Flame and Black Disciple soon. I do hope to see Purifying Flame. It's a large enough map, and since neither side are going for a rush... Ooh, this is interesting. Is Futurama also upgrading the Purifying Flame? I mean, these guys can see everything that's coming. Purifying Flame is on its way. Flame tanks times 13. Did Futurama read the patch notes? Blue flame tanks were nerfed, but they're still powerful, but they're not broken anymore. You don't have to focus fire the ground to get the most out of these things, because I did fix that bug. A buggy to scout. I do like this strategy a lot though. One base blue flame, really nice to see. Blue Purifying Flame is on its way. That's going to give a 50% damage boost to these flame tanks. No longer is it something absurd like 300%. This flame tank could probably just go ahead and target this down. Refinery though will be on the mind of... Oh my god, that Purifying Flame, even with the nerf, takes out that comm center. Refinery will live, but the AP ammo was denied. No AP ammo, which is unfortunate for Space. He was just about to get that as well. Futurama going to get the Black Disciple upgrade. He opted for Purifying Flame first. There's flame tanks up in the top, flame tanks up down in the south. This flame tank will be destroyed before it arrives at this tier 3. We'll get some damage on that, but not going to be enough. Now Space and Rex just need to be vigilant and keep an eye on things. Blackhand, once they exit this stage of the game, is going to be tricky. Futurama are probably taking up to tier 3. Are we going to see a blue flame redeemer this game? I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I've been using it a lot recently, and it's very good at killing gunwalkers when you're up and close. I got a clip where I killed like 15 gunwalkers with the blue flame redeemer. So Mantis this time to escort this flame tank. Flame tank will find the MCV. Beacon, 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 beacon. One more shot and that goes down. Yeah, nice work. The hammerheads will respond. Now AP ammo is researched. I think Space needs to repair this up with a engineer, because there's probably going to be a vapor bomb if not. Mantis there and rocket squads can't really afford to take on this army with the Mantis. Maybe he can. The hammerheads are not stacking up, so those forces will be cleaned up. Is the vapor bomb coming in? Man, I feel like vapor bomb could have cleaned that up. Eclipse over here will find Rex's army. These tripods are chasing Pred tanks. Pred tanks not upgraded with railguns. Some of those APCs are loaded with missile squads. Futurama has that tier 4. He did summon in the Sea Tiberium. Flame tank up here unopposed, but Space will try and respond to this. Let's see if the nerf has any effect. It does not. As I said, like, still good. Guys, don't believe that it's not. It's still a good upgrade to get. Just because it's not 300% more damage doesn't mean it's not super powerful. He's still getting the trace that he wants, even with the nerf. So if anyone says that Purifying flame tanks are not good anymore, i.e. Narvek, who PMs me about this, then just send him clips of this game. Rex does throw in the towel. He doesn't want to fight on. And why is that exactly? I don't understand. The game's not over. There's no Redeemer out for Futurama. Futurama doesn't have much of a presence on this map. I don't understand why he left. Why did Rex leave this game? I don't understand, man. Maybe because he's out of Tiberium and there's nothing left to harvest. That Purifying Flame strategy worked out very well for Futurama. Must say it's inspired by me. I mean, I didn't really see anybody do that before I started doing it. But it is a good strategy to use. Marv is out for Eclipse. No Redeemer yet for Futurama. He's going to spam infantry. Lots of infantry supported by Mantis with Tib Core. So Hammerhead is not going to be a threat. Probably sniper teams here. Unfortunately will be cut off by these Mantis. 2 of those sniper teams do get intercepted. And it's just too much, I reckon. Space is going to probably lose this. I mean, there's some dev tanks over there, but they're going to get quickly cut off and destroyed. Both the players in the bottom have established refineries, so it's only a matter of time before Space is forced to quit this game. I mean, he does have a lot of hammerheads, but now that they've been scouted, it's going to be pretty easy for GDI and Blackhand player to stop that, especially when they've got their respective anti-air tier 3 upgrades online. Mammoth tank anti-air also decent. Supersonic airstrike just completely smashes that. And Mammoth tanks will clean up the rest of those hammer hits there. Although Mammoth tanks are not a primary anti-air unit, they can deal decent damage to aircraft. So that's going to put Eclipse and Futurama 4-2 up in this best of 11 series. They have just 2 games left to seal this series. Let's see if Rex and Space can bring it back. Nice use of the Purifying Flame by Futurama. Yeah, these guys take forever to rehost and X up and stuff like that. They certainly are in no rush to conclude this series, are they? I mean, it's going to be a long series if Space plans a comeback, right? But anyways, on the right here, we'll be playing as the yellow GDI. It's going to be Space. His ally over to the right of him, playing as the orange screen, is going to be Rex. Their opponents up in this best of 11 series, 4-2, will be Eclipse, playing as the green GDI, and Cyan, Nod for Futurama. I believe he's Nod. Yeah, he switched from Black Hand to Nod after that Flame Rush. Can't imagine Bike would have enjoyed casting this, let's be honest. 4 hours of best of 2 versus 2s. Can you imagine that? Maybe he would have done it, but it's just a long time, isn't it, of being in the lobby. Wasn't expecting that. I feel like if you're in a series, you want to keep it going. But it may be advantageous to the team that are behind having a pause so they can recollect their thoughts, as Space and Rex most likely have done. We're hoping that they can put another point on the table, because if it's a 3-4 scoreline, then there's always wiggle room for them to come back in this best of 11. It's not completely over. However, I don't enjoy their chances if this game is lost. So it's all going to come down to if Space and Rex can pull this one through. This is Hurricane Lands. There is a danger in expanding on this map just due to this river here, or this stream, I guess you could call it. Can't deploy your AMCV here, so descent rushes or even bike rushes can be lethal if unscouted. You'll lose your AMCV whilst it is expanding, so you've got to be careful about that. Aside from that though, nothing really going on, just ecoing up an APC from Space. He's going for some APCs on to refineries, probably going for some rockets as well. Interesting. However, if this is scouted early on, that will give Eclipse ample time to build a response. He'll be able to go for Predator tanks and deal with it. There's a pitbull for Eclipse. He's going to be able to scout everything that's coming his way. Pitbull moving to the north of the map. However, I think it's going to be a little bit too late, because this will be scouted. Futurama does drop his refinery there. I think that Space had the opportunity to move into Futurama's base, though there is a second war factory on the way, and most likely a watchtower for Eclipse is ready to be dropped. He's working on one now. Eclipse got a couple of pitbulls here. He's kind of focusing too much on Space, while Rex has been completely unopposed. This could make it so Rex did what he did on Forgotten Forest and carried Space. A bit of lag here. This is not Revora, because once you're in game, it is peer-to-peer. This is the problem when you rely on free VPNs. I mean, and that is essentially what's happening here. There's someone here using a free VPN, and it's just garbage. I mean, I played some games versus Eclipse yesterday, and he claims it's Revora. He always says it's Revora, but it's always when he's in the game, and I bet you he's using a VPN as well. So I don't buy what he says. Now, no matter how laggy it can get, it's not as bad as the series I had versus WookieBert and Bycrush in 2015. That was lag. It did help me and Dirty Dutch win that series, though. We actually beat Bycrush and WookieBert, which was mad back then. Those were literally the two best players in the game. Oh my god, but that team did not gel together. Bike and Wookie. Wookie, exceptional player though back then. He did well with Nash. Phoenix and WookieBert, at the height of their gameplay, were a team to be reckoned with. Nothing selected. Oh, I'm holding W key. Apparently you can try and select stuff as an observer. Radar lagging missile goes off. Affects the observer as well, surprisingly. Man, this is almost like a slideshow at this point. Here's me hoping that things improve, but it's just going to make it so more and more micro mistakes will happen. Space probably getting tilted. Space has amassed a lot of Predator tanks out. What would be nice to see at the moment would be a bunch of Orcas. An Orca switch here would be excellent. There's not much in the way of anti-air from either player in the team in the south. Scorpion tanks, generally a bad idea versus GDI factions, because they just don't have the any means to shoot up, and Orca's very good to capitalize on that. A Tib Vane gets fired off there, doesn't do a whole lot though. That was a complete miss. Who fired that off? Yeah, Futurama. What a fail there. At least this game, Space does spread out his refineries enough so he doesn't get double clicked. Another radar jamming missile will be fired off, I think. Yeah, maybe Futurama's floating cache.
Packed up and ready.
That's likely the case. Oh, I'm actually pretty spoiled today. Thank you very much for the sub. The Atlas Latch. Oh my god, is that German? I apologize for the pronunciation, but thank you very much for that, man, for the sub. 3 months as well. Yeah, cheers. But man, a tripod gets focused down. These Scorpion tanks really should not be doing anything in this matchup. I mean, there should be Orcas out on the map. I mean, I've been saying Orcas for the past like 2 minutes. Stealth tanks as well would have been counted. Stealth tank does get sniped by the harvesters. Yeah, that can happen. Eventually those forces do get cleaned up. Space does rally his stuff over there. Redeemer on its way. No Marv just yet for Space. I presume this is going to be a Reclamator hub, which is about to drop. There we go. He's going to build a Marv. Does get clicked. Futurama uses the Catalyst missile. Eclipse working on his own Marv. I would like to see a bunch of planetary assault carriers and devastator warships. I just feel like we don't see enough Scrin packs, because packs make the devastator warships so much better with their ion storms. I mean, that's the whole point of the planetary assault carrier, to buff the devastator warship. Sometimes this can occur now when harvesters don't dock in the ref correctly, but it is rare, and we don't see any harvester bugs like we used to. Except this one here, which apparently wants to go the long way around. In fact, no, that was just microed by Eclipse to go to the other refinery, which is weird. Nonetheless, though, there's no knob player on the other team, so this army's safe to stand in the Tiberium, but not the troops. The troops do take tib exposure. It's not a lot, though. It's not like the first C&C games where you just took insane damage by standing on Tiberium. I think tib exposure damage existed in that game as well, or maybe it was just too advanced for its time. I can't remember. I only played the remaster collection. I never played the games in the 90s. This is the first C&C game that I have played. Kane's Wrath, Tiberium Wars. Before this, I was not really an RTS guy. I mean, I did play Battle for Middle-earth, which is how I got into this. No regrets, of course. I mean, I wasn't expecting... I wasn't expecting the purchase of Tiberium Wars back in the day to be this significant part of my life. Really was not expecting at all. With me ultimately doing patches and 4K remaster mods for it. Really, you never know what will happen. Seekers approach from the south. Mammoth tank there awaited them. That attack will go nowhere. No shard launchers upgraded. There's no blue Tiberium field on this map. Tib damage and Tib Dawn was only when you walked over it. If you stood in it, you're fine. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't really make sense, but I guess it was too complicated back then to code or that into the game engine, because they had to fit that on like a floppy disk or several floppy disks. Did they not offer the game in floppy format? Well, Command & Conquer 3 is really advanced. Sage engine. It's definitely a step in the right direction. The only thing they did wrong about this was the fact that they capped it to 30 frames per second. But then, again, like, it's impossible to achieve 60 FPS stable. And back then, 30 FPS was considered smooth. You know, fast forward to today where we have 144 Hz monitors and even further more refresh rate. Like 30 FPS is considered unplayable by many people. But back in the day, 30 FPS was considered a great gaming experience. So then it was completely acceptable to play at that frame rate. And it still is today. This game's fine. Despite being locked at 30, the fact that the right scroll, right mouse button scroll works as smooth as it does is great. They were always on CDs. Oh, they didn't have floppies. Well, maybe I'm confusing with something else. There would have been a lot of those for sure, if so. I mean, compact discs can store quite a lot of data, can't they? Is it not 600 megabytes for the full fat one? Which is way more than what Command & Conquer 1 is in size. Phased epic units moving forward. Has this regen been used? Oh my god, this phased Marv crushes a mammoth tank. Can you believe this, guys? Phased mammoth, phased Marv crushing juggernauts. Unreal. This is unreal. He's gonna crush himself. Another one. Oh my god, man, this Marv. MVP. And he's getting kills as well for everything. That is insane. The Hexapod does ultimately come out of phase. Regen fires off. That is a crazy amount of damage. Crazy amount of damage coming in there. Does that get teleported back? Yes, it does. The Marv, however, that will want to go back. Is that a commando I see there? I think I see a commando. I don't know. I can't really tell, man. It's really messy, this fight. Juggernaut's back there causing so much damage. Look at the splash damage being inflicted. There's so many Juggernauts back there. The Spectres from Futurama need to somehow try and work on this force, but the Devastator warships are completely unanswered. That's a lot of forces. Both epic units still survive, albeit on low health. You know, it would be a good time to get down the reconstruction drones and put both epic units around about here. Avatars moving forward. The Redeemer still lives here for Futurama. Those avatars getting too far forward for my liking. They barely live. One goes down. And this artillery duel will continue. Hopefully we don't see a crash, because one of these guys is lagging hard. What a battle though. But the key thing is both epic units are alive. No, don't do this. No. Send that back. Don't. Oh god, man. This Marv, Oh, that was close as well. These Juggernauts were affected by Rage briefly. However, the Rage was dealt with. There's only 3 or 4 Spectres, which are really annoying. I don't think Rex can push. He's still got Tiberium left, man. I think Pax is the way to go here. I mean, I've been saying it from the start, but all these units are stationary. Start healing that Hexbot as well, man. What are you doing? There's tripods over there. Hexbot needs to get healed up. Yeah, Rex, he needs to pay a bit more attention. Redeemer over here for Futurama. Both epic units are there, but this force is just going to be unstoppable, isn't it? These Devastator warships have no answer. Obelisk of Light being worked on. Double Sonic Emitter getting dropped there. Very frantic fight. Devastator warships could get focused down by these Vertigos, which do have upgraded anti-air and R20. So they could turn around and start focusing on these warships if they so desire. Yeah, he's like, yeah, go ahead and start working on that. But I guess maybe rearming them is a better idea. Pax, man. Where are the planetary assault carriers? Get 1 or 2 out. It's going to be great if Rex decides to build some Pax. There's 4 tripods back there. The artillery units are here for Futurama. Excellent micro, but not much damage will be inflicted. Hexbot moving forward. He could just teleport on top of these and kill them. Hexbot will be generating a lot of resources. A counterattack is happening, but it's not nearly as threatening as what Space has. I mean, Space with his army is comparable to this whole force, so it's not going to go anywhere, this. And Rex, what are you doing? Come on, get working on this base. MCV gets sniped. That's a big deal. Rex takes the MCV over. Oh, and he does this nice micro trick there. Teleports the engineer he got from the sold off Conyard. Forces the cell on that refinery. Hexapod could start working on this. Beacon. That's actually Futurama's beacon on this Space Command uplink. Let's see if they'll pay for that actually. Oh, the Marv was being found by the Hex. Rage Gen does fire off. But this Marv will fall. And that's going to severely limit the combat capability of this army. Having a Hexbot with a commander in sight is a big deal. Cell happens on that Conyard, and that is going to be GG. Eclipse throws in the towel. Futurama follows suit. So it is now 4-3 in this best of 11 series. So we are bringing it back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a lag fest, but good game nonetheless. The best one I've seen whole series. Tense action. Those Spectres didn't do as much as I thought they would. Tournament shaft once again. And these guys be given a lifeline. It's going to be really tilting for Futurama and Eclipse if they lose this game, because they were in a great position last game. But it was too... I mean, there was nothing to suggest that either side was in a really winning position. I mean, Futurama... Space took no damage. Rex looked like he was doing fine as well. But it's better to be a nod overall in the late game, because you get the laser capacitors. I don't have some modified version of this map. Everyone's probably on the same page. Some maps do have desyncs, like that one. The Alien 6 map that Horse made has a tendency of desyncing. He told me to remove it. But so far everything seems to be fine. Probably something very arbitrary that caused it. Anyways, it is 4-3 in favor still of Futurama and Eclipse. Futurama will be down here playing as the Cyan Black Hand. His teammate Eclipse to the left of him will be playing as the Green Black Hand. Up here to the north we'll see Space as the yellow GI Vanilla. His ally Rex will be playing as the Marked of Kane. So he actually switched his faction, funnily enough. Good for him because he's going to get charged particle beams. Hopefully one of these guys remembers to purchase quad turrets. Really good upgrade versus infantry. Raider Buggy comes in to scout. Rex will reveal that there's no rushes happening. Futurama will just expand normally. Eclipse over here with his MCV. Likewise going to get an expansion underway. 4 and 2 here established for Space. He does have an expansion. Neither side had any issues capturing their respective tip spikes. This one has been left uncaptured. Probably will go to Futurama if Futurama opts to do the disciple build that he does on 2 refineries, which is where he goes for a barracks secret shrine before his 3rd rev. He'd then secure the tip spike, but I'm not sure if it would do anything against another Nob player who would probably just stop that with Scorpion tanks, with Flame tanks. Flame tank, Scorpion tank is really what you should be doing against Black Hand. It's what Technique did, it's what I used to do with Purifying Flame. It's a great thing versus Black Hand, especially when they transition out of the Scorpion spam and go into infantry themselves. Then your army can crush and also finish the remaining infantry with those flame tanks. Bikes will path through this Tiberium chasm here. Doesn't look like that has any geometry, so units just go straight through it. Yes, it does look weird. Probably could mod that, to be honest, so it is sort of like a structure, and then units would be forced to go around, because right now it seems like units can just go straight through it. This is a map that you rarely see. Indeed. Tiberium Shaft. Infantry upgrade on its way. Almost completed. And if we do see a desync this match, it's obviously due to the map. Of course, this is R20. I did compile all the maps in this. Is there any clue, any indication on the map that it is R20? I guess I can check the cost of the Shatterer.
Tiberium exposure detected.
New construction options.
$1,500 for that, and yeah, it seems to be the patch is fine.
Under attack. Unit lost. New construction options.
Where's his tier 2? $1,000 quad turret upgrade, okay. Just confirming that that is the case. Grenadier squad here. I've been having great success with these lately. Inside of Steel Town MRTs, I've had a heroic one and an elite one in the 2 games I've used them. I think just having 1 or 2 with your rocket MRTs is a great thing. Maybe a rifle as well, just to complement that, but against Master Synth, those Grenadiers do a lot of damage. You can kill a bunch of disintegrators with just one singular Grenadier squad. It's much more effective at countering that compared to rifles. Yes, it is, Whitey. It is exactly what you think it is. Straight up 33% increase to the damage. Yeah, you see, you wonder why the desync happened. is because of the lag, man. Like, the lag and other circumstances probably causes it. This is quite a stress for the game engine. But you see there's nothing wrong with this game, which means that it's just an arbitrary desync that occurred due to probably someone actually being out of sync with the other players. Warning. Problem communicating with a stats server. Dozen or so Scorpion tanks there for Rex. He's moving into this base. He's not really killing a whole lot. The Dozer Blades are certainly coming in handy. You'll want to be careful that he doesn't drive over the Tiv field and gets his stuff destroyed. Laser turrets do have a slight nerf in R20 to offset the cheaper turret, the cheaper quad turret upgrade. Marv out for space, no anti-infantry. You know what would be good here? Summoning in the sharpshooter support power with his tech center. He's probably trying to bank money up for that. Futurama seems to be pretty out of action here. He's got his tier 3. Both players' tech centers have been established there. Marv likely will be falling as well to this man spam. Rocket squad there too. Marv will ultimately fall. And that's the one tank that Space needed to survive in this game. Just a handful of Scorpion tanks left. Then that is probably going to be it. GG. So that is it for that game. 5-3 is the scoreline currently. Let's see if the final game will be the end of this series or if there'll be a spectacular comeback. No, Twitch wants to milk the platform very much so. Because I think they lost a couple big streamers, so they're trying to make up for it now, aren't they? By punishing everyone else. I think Amazon owns Twitch. I can't remember if they acquired it or not. Was it a good acquisition in the end? I think the Prime sub system was a good thing for Twitch ultimately. I think a lot of a lot of creators did get a lot from the Prime sub scheme, which is good. I am a bit disappointed that they keep the bit rate at 6,000 kilobits per second, like 6 years later. There's no progress when it comes to stream quality at all. And YouTube, you can stream at 53 megabits per second, 4K 60 frames per second in real time. And they even transcode that for you in real time. Whereas at Twitch, it's just limited to 6,000 kilobits per second, which is pitiful, really. And they want to reduce that. I saw in South Korea they throttled the data consumption in Twitch because they were using a lot of it. Maybe it's not profitable for them in that market to operate at that. Anyway, I haven't been talking very much about this game. After a certain point, I probably just waffle on about random things, and I forget that I'm even streaming, which probably is the case now. But up in the top, we got Eclipse and Futurama both playing as the Black Hand. And in the bottom, we see Nod for Rex, Space as the GDI. I don't like Black Hand, double Black Hand on a map like this. I think GDI has way more possibilities to win, especially if this game does not end in the next like 2 minutes. I mean, even Bike Rush, I think Bike Rush would agree that double Black Hand on this map is not the way to go. Yeah, so yeah, my cat's here. It is going to contribute to this commentary. It's going to support me. Double Black Hand super dumb. I thought so as well, because look how big this map is. How do you respond to your ally? Let's say your ally's under attack here, and you're down here. What do you do as Black Hand? You don't have any aircraft. You can't send Hammerhiss to help him. There's no Juggernauts for you. You got Spectres, which suck. You know, the moment... This is the worst thing, though. Why is he playing into Black Hand? He's base pushing versus double Black Hand. This guy is insane. Why is he base pushing into double Black Hand? Just set up a base, sit there, and eco up. Let the Black Hand player come to you. This is dumb, man. He's gonna get pushed by two. This is so stupid. I think they've lost this game. They're pushing into double Black Hand. I think that's it, right? As soon as the Black Disciple is online, how the hell are they going to stop this? Please tell me this is not Dozer Blade.
Our base is under attack. Construction complete.
Why not this one? You could have had this by now. This would have been helpful here.
Our base is under attack.
Our base is under attack.
This was just bad. Why did he do that? I mean, sure, there's some AP ammo online. There's a lot of laser turrets, though. Infantry actually is getting thinned out, surprisingly. Oh, that Harvester just barely escapes death. Red Tank's taking so much damage. For the love of God, man, please upgrade quad turrets. Quad turret, get the quad turrets. Quad turrets, man. Just get some quad turrets already. For Christ's sake, please. This would have been so much easier. Now, there's nothing happening right now. Why is that? Because there's a tier 3 down for Eclipse. So there's going to be an obelisk soon. Rex does have a double ref here. He's pretty unopposed. Futurama have been trying to help his ally. So this is surprisingly going to work. How did that work? Like, how did that work against double Black Hand? Well, surprisingly, that worked. I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. They just take this game. They completely take this game. Futurama beaconing the death of his infantry. It's not the best thing you want to signal to your ally. Obelisk will be focused out. See how that tanks 2 shots from the front. And yeah, Rex is all over Futurama. There's no harvesting happening over here. Rex is going to pull through and take this game. We are going to most likely go into a 4-5 scenario for Rex and Space. Can they bring it back? Rex over here, an absolute beast, not going for quad turrets. It's only a matter of time at this point before they quit this game. They're not harvesting. Futurama is dead. Laser capacitors is online. Double black hat was a terrible mistake, as mentioned in the start. It's just not a good idea. You've got a 100k bet on Futurama Eclipse. Well, it's getting close for comfort though, isn't it, if it goes to a 5-4 scenario. There is 2 games still for Futurama and Eclipse to drop. You know my favourite thing about not playing 1.03? Seeing the missiles and the rockets not travel at 4 times the speed. It's my most hated change in 1.03. I dislike it. I hate it. I just don't like what CGF did with that. Makes the game look less authentic. Oh, that's unfortunate. 2 refs get clicked there, and making the halves bug non-stop. Or it's R20. Yeah, the halves seem to not bug anymore in this new version, like at all. Which is a positive sign. We've even got some encouraging solutions from other modding members of the community. My screen half docks and undocks 24/7. I haven't seen any harvesters like dancing out of a refinery and not being able to dock in it. That has not occurred even once, not even one time. And that is astonishing to me, how that is no longer happening. But yet that is going to be another point on the table for Rex and Space. They are 4-5 in this best of 11. Can they continue this, and can they win 2 games in a row? No, never mind. We got correct spawning locations. And this, we're going on to the next game. Currently 5-4 is the scoreline, with Eclipse and Futurama almost going down in this map, but there was a crash. Anyways, I would be feeling salty if I were Space and Rex, but they're not getting tilted, which is the main thing, because they have to play. We've had so many interruptions this series, man. I can't believe it. It's over 4 hours, this best of 11. It may not seem like this if I do decide to post it on YouTube, but it's been 4 hours, more or less. Anyways, in the bottom of this map, playing as the Cyan Black Hand, we have Futurama, his ally Eclipse to the left, spawning as the green GDI. In the north will be Rex with the Traveller this time. I announced he was playing Scrin in the previous cast of this map, but as mentioned, there was a crash, so it is being replayed. Rex was in an advantageous position. I feel like those guys could have taken it, and they probably should have taken it, if you ask me. The Traveller player was untouched, and the Black Hand player was about to lose all of his infantry. Pred tanks are about to go down. I don't see any world where the Futurama and Eclipse could have won that, to be honest, but I am not here to judge that. It's just unfortunate how the game couldn't conclude. I had a similar instance happen versus Eclipse on Tournament Dust Decision. It would have been a great game, but it just crashed. He crashed that game at the end. And I mean, there's only so long you can blame Revora for crashes. I mean, if no one else is crashing and having DCing issues, then you may want to point the blame somewhere else, because I don't think it's entirely attributable to Revora. I haven't had much issues myself today, aside from logging into accounts Would you Showmatch Eclipse? Probably not. No, I wouldn't show that. He just has... His internet is... It's frustrating to deal with, man. I mean, you've seen the games today. It's quite laggy, let's be real. It is a bit tilting, and it's hard to execute strategies that I do with with that internet connection. But I have played Eclipse quite a lot in the past. He didn't fare too well in the past, but hey, maybe he'll do better now. First, we need to see if those guys can take this series. There's another infantry push happening. Looks like it's the same exact push as the previous game. This is essentially the same game as the last one, Gunwalkers and Predator Tanks. It's just a repeat. It's like they rehearsed the same game. Rather than change it up, they're going for the exact same strategy. But this time, Space has a numerical superiority. There's some infantry back there, beaconing this infantry. Buzzer hives are being deployed. Those are there just to kill the buzzer hive buzzers. There's some gunwalkers here too, and these Pred tanks just being filed in 1v1. Laser turret being deployed, a secondary buzzer hive, illy placed as well. Should have it in the back there, preferably behind the power plant that Space drops. And yeah, if Rex has infantry to follow up behind this, which he does have, then yeah, this Pred army should get destroyed. And like I said in the previous game, this push doesn't work, man. Like we're gonna see here, it's just not gonna work. It's just I was true. I mean, what? I was completely right about this. Doesn't matter if it's one Cabal. It does not matter. See, there's 4 Cabals here. Before there's like 1 rocket squad. Now there's 4 Cabals, and the Pred tank's still gonna die to this. So that's that. Game over. Oh dear. I mean, I understand that the rematch was required for it to conclusively finish the match, but if there was to occur a DC here, you'd have to give the game to those guys. But yeah, that's GG. It's 5-5. Ooh, almost. Again, Eclipse, he just has issues with his con. I think he uses a VPN. It's just... you gotta think, because I've seen a couple best of 11s get underway and people like Zads can't cast the entire thing, which is understandable. Anyways, this is the final game of this best of 11 series, and in the bottom, playing as the Cyan Trello 59 is going to be Futurama. His ally spawning to the south will be Eclipse as the green nod, and in the top of the final game, this is the ace match, so all is on the lines. I'm not sure exactly how much is on the line, but there is some cash at stake here for either side. But it's going to be Space sticking with the yellow, sticking with GDI. It worked out well for him in that last game, and I believe the game before that, where he successfully executed a base push. Anyways, his teammate Rex will be playing as the Traveler. So we've got ourselves a Traveler mirror, but the distinguishing factors between the two teams are there's a GDI for Rex and there's a nod for Futurama. So we're seeing good faction split. I think Reaper 17 is underrepresented in this patch overall. I think they are very powerful. They do have a good chance. Not sure what that was about. Maybe... I think that there was a bunker dug there, and that was secured by Space. Good secured bunker. Good start to this game. There's a lot of buzzer scouts happening for either side. Of course, neither side wants to die to a rush. 3-2 economy for Eclipse. No rushing happening. I mean, it would be stupid in a final game in an ace match to do a rush. Space a little bit behind on that expansion, probably because he over-invested in Rifleman. 4 and 2 there for him, unless he's only on 3. Yeah, why is he behind? He's behind almost by a Harvester. He may have forgot to be building. Rex over here on 5 and 2. He's already got his expansion. He's going to drop his drone ship, power down the portal as well, which is a good idea. It will allow him to build photon cannons. It doesn't have to spend the $600 and 6 seconds, which is another resource that people may not consider, which is time. It takes time to build this. So keeping it and not selling it is advantageous when your opponent is a known rusher, let's just say. Eclipse does have the tendency of rushing quite a bit. But Eclipse down here, he's going for Scorpion tanks. There's some Seekers from Futurama. He's going to do an attack. He's going to try and stop this blue field from being mined. Rex needs to pull his Harvester away from this location. Futurama is going to see this, and this Harvester will escape, which is nice. There's 4 or 5 Seekers there. He can't really take on this force. Rex is beaconing this. Reconstruction drones may be coming down on this force. Gets away with a full load of blue Tiberium, and the push was successfully halted. Let's see if 1 or 2 more Seekers will go down in this assault. It's going to be close. These little victories are huge, man. He's focusing on that Seeker that is not in the heavy damage state. Units that take critical damage in this game do move slower. Now, Space needs to have some units to defend this back. He's going for rockets, but he's just not going to cut it for him. He needs a second war factory. He needs it now. Rex going for those disintegrators, which is a smart choice. Futurama likewise probably doing the same thing. He's going for Descents himself, but this area of the map was secured by Space. As you can see, he's got a bunker there to reveal everything that's coming. Some Descents over here from him, yeah, see, but the problem with this grouped up Descents is the fact that they can get hit by a cloaking field support power. If Eclipse has $3,000 to spare, he can use it on these disintegrators and clean them all up. Alternatively, Futurama can use the infestation hive on this tip field, and it will practically almost kill those Descents. Let's see if Futurama, if Rex decides to use the Buzzer Swarm to help his ally there. Some Descents happening here for Futurama will clean that force up. Buggies being destroyed, and the fact that Eclipse is making buggies and not Scorpion tanks is good for the GDI player, because when the GDI player ultimately gets AP ammo and a couple hammerheads out, these units will be less effective. Descent Gunwalker on the map, a potent combination. Tip Spike will be falling in the south. Buzzer Swarm for Rex. He's not paying attention, so he's going to lose all of those Descents. Futurama saving his Tip Spike. Tiberium in the middle, up 4 grabs. However, there is a more safe field to capture in the south. Futurama going for that Tiberium up in the north, blue tip to be exact. And let's take a look at Space's situation here with his Firehawks. He could start transferring his Harvesters over to his expansion tip field. Lots of Descents here for Futurama. There's so many disintegrator squads. Yeah, there has to be a hammerhead man or something, otherwise these Descents are going to cause so much damage. There's so many Descents there. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. Where are the defenses, man? Like, why are you letting Descents in here? Like, your GDI, you shouldn't let Descent squads like that just get into your base. Did the Tech Center die? Not quite sure if it did. There's a wormhole. Oh my god, come on, micro. Wow, Rex with the plays. Rex with the plays. Where's that wormhole? Where is the wormhole? Did that Prodigy get sniped? You got the cell. Futurama has no production left. He can only build gunwalkers. Man, ever since Bycrush taught Rex that trick, he's been doing it all the time, every game. But can this push be stopped here? That's a lot of Scorpion tanks, but the Sonic Emitter is right there, which will probably take out this force. All these guys have to do is just hold on here. Harvesters are being pulled. Sonic Emitter still alive. It's going to be a hard push to stop. Where is the Prodigy, though, for Rex? Rex needs to have something over here right now. Where is his unit? Looks like Futurama quit, which just leaves Eclipse in this game. But is it going to do it? No, his forces are being depleted. One Sonic Emitter there. There's just one tripod. These tanks are being focused down. There's descents endlessly being poured in. The Scorpion tank numbers are depleting in size. Firehawks bombed something. The Redeemer facility looked like that was fenced. Just non-stop Scorpion tank spam production. And the last of the tripods may not be taken out. Actually, this tripod will survive for the meantime. Rex still has his tech center, I believe, or he may have sold it. Actually, tripod does ultimately fall. Shard photon cannons being dropped. Probably going for cultists at this point. These guys are holding on for dear life. It is not over just yet, guys. I would not say it's over. There's a Redeemer out for Eclipse. He is actually in a better position. He can take this game. He can take this game because what's his name here does not have any income. Though Rex did just use the Overlord's route. Lots of Tiberium here for space to harvest, and he's been taking out structures in the back. Those shard photon cannons are causing so much problems. Look at this. Look how much damage these shard photon cannons do. Pretty much one-shotting those tanks. That is keeping Rex going in this game. These shard photon cannons just littered on this map. Where is the micro? Yeah, I don't know, man. This is worse than the AI. At least the AI would stay and fight in one place with all the units. That would result in a higher chance of success. But Eclipse, he donating forces in multiple attack vectors. He should just sit here and try and win on one front rather than this. This is not working out for him. Redeemer does get rallied over here, and this assault is continuing to happen. There's a triple refinery. Eclipse powering through. And you know what, guys? I think Eclipse may take this game. I think they may take this game. Yeah, there's just nothing. I think he has too much. You're right. Space doesn't have any reinforcements. There's nothing in the epic unit, but I think just nothing but Scorpion tank spam at this point is all he needs. Lots of harvests down there. Looks like Eclipse is going to go and take that out. Engineer there will capture that husk. Redeemer will move forward. This tip field is just being camped for days. And even though it is a 2v1, there is just no chance for Rex to do anything. He is base contained. He has no income. Rex has nothing left here. These Scorpion tanks are just going to clean up shop. That is probably going to be the end of the series because, yeah, look, there's so much income here. Even though Futurama was taken out of the game, Eclipse just has the numbers. There's just way more resources for him. He can afford to be quite wasteful as long as he keeps applying pressure and prevents their opponents from expanding to this third field. There is a chance. There's just endless waves of stuff. It's like a brutal AI at this point. Sonic emitters still being dropped. Maybe if there had been zone heads and not regular hammerheads, Rex is beaconing those harvesters to indicate they are not unloading their tib. Infantry transition here, which is really going to throw these guys off. There's no anti-air, no raider buggies, just these gunwalkers, a handful of gunwalkers. There's an elite hammerhead there, can't afford to lose that. it will just about escape, but even if it had went to heroic, may not be enough. This Prodigy needs to move out. What is Rex doing? Rex moves out of the way with his Prodigy. This force here is approaching this base. Prodigy is out, but he uses the Ray Shan, which forces the watchtowers to kill it. So the Prodigy does fall, and the infantry will overwhelm. Space is space. So Eclipse will successfully take out these two guys. All that Eclipse has to do is just focus on this one fight. Probably should put 2 rockets in that Redeemer for good measure. Another Prodigy is coming out, but that was incredibly close. I thought it was game over when Futurama decided to quit and lost his ability to produce units. Maybe if this hammer hit goes heroic, it'd be nice to see, but it's just unlikely going to happen. There is a tripod approaching this Redeemer. Tripod does EMP that. AMCV does fall, which will leave the team there with no ability to produce units, whereas Eclipse is just, you know, spamming out of probably triple war factory at this point. He's got 2 war factories, a Skrin war factory as well. His AMCV has probably moved its way to the expansion of his opponent. Yeah, he's well in command of this game. He secured that tip field, and that is going to be it. A valiant effort from those guys. I'm just curious to see if that hammer hit can go heroic. It has no means of repairing itself, and it is, yeah, literally, as Eclipse said, a brutal AI, just spamming units across the map without a care in the world. There's just so many units being streamlined in. Another expansion for Eclipse. He's just taking over the whole map. These guys, looks like what's his name? Space did quit. A good effort from Rex, but ultimately it did not matter. Maybe if he had got a Hexpod out, but those guys, they lost too much to the disintegrators from Futurama, I reckon. And the Scorpion tanks just were not answered correctly. That's going to be GG. So Eclipse will take this series with Futurama 6-5 in a pretty tense and close series. That series could have gone either way, but look at that eco advantage at the end. Look at the resources that Eclipse had compared to his opponents. What's that, like 100,000, more than $100,000 more? So I mean, he should have had that, to be fair. Look, I mean, look at that, $100,000 in difference. So that is going to be a congrats to Eclipse and to Futurama for taking that series 6-5. A valiant fight back from Rex and Space. They almost had it. I thought they had it when that drone ship of Futurama got captured by Space, by Rex's wormhole, but Rex unable to get his Hexpod out was the turning point of that game. Maybe Futurama sniped the tech, I'm not quite sure. But for some reason he had no tier 3. I can't imagine he sold it, so I'm going to assume that Futurama somehow sniped it. So that is going to be that.